Hello guys and welcome to Blue Block. Today we'll be having another episode of coding, and the topic of today is creating a game object. Now I think you already know I switched to using the word sprite or game object when I'm referring to a game object because it just I don't know, I guess they both mean the same thing. It's just different ways of saying it. So you can say either game object or sprite. It doesn't really matter, but I like to use both. So today we're going to be talking about how to make a game object. So here you right click in the hierarchy and you go all the way down to create 3D object. Now this 3D object option might not always be here, because it might be called something else because you might have a 2D project. But right now I'm using a 3D project. You can change it to 2D, it doesn't matter. But here I'm going to click on 3D object, and I have a list here of shapes I can use: cube, sphere, capsule, cylinder, plane, quad, so on. And here we're going to use cube as an example. And this is where our cube is. So if you want to have a cube in your game, this is it. And from here you can move it around, and you can change its size because the inspector tab, you could see all of its properties. Position 200, and that we can't even see, so I have to scroll over to where it is. Where is it? It's way over there. I don't know if you can see that, but our game object went way over there. It's like a little tiny dot. But there you have it. You can transform it and stuff, add code to it. But we're also going to talk about how to add components. Now, components are basically you adding things to your game object. So we can, I don't know, add an audio component, and we have audio listener for, like, I don't know, music if you wanted to add to your game. And then we have, let's see, we can add rigid body. Rigid body 2D is for 2D games, but rigid body is basically for you adding your collision and the movement of your characters for your game. So if you want to add movement, you definitely need a rigid body, but movement tutorial is going to be for later. And that's basically what components are for, basically just adding things to your game object. And now we also have, where are they? We also have children. Now, those are, well, basically as it shows, which is basically just, they're attached to the parent game object. So this cube would be the parent game object, and we can, all you have to do to make a child is drag one of your other game objects into your cube or your parent game object you want to make, and you have to drag it in there. I'm doing the main camera because I'm about to show you something. And now it's attached to the cube, so whenever the cube moves, the camera would move with it. Now, we made the cube way too far away, so we'd actually need to make it closer, so we could just do 10. Now we have to turn back around to look for it. Where is it? It's down there, so we gotta just go down there. There's our cube. Okay, so we have it there, and our camera is... Where's our camera at? Our camera seems to be, like, right there. It is far. So what I'm going to do here is make the position 10 as well in the X. So now, if we look over, our camera is now closer to our cube, as you can see in the main camera area. But if we wanted to move our camera, we can manually do that. And go here. Try to align it like that. We'd still have to get closer to it, so to do that we would increase this Z value here. See if we got any closer, and actually I think we got farther. So let me try to set it to 100. That might be enough. Oops. So, as you can see here, our camera is non-existent. I have no clue where it went, so what we're going to do here is put our game object creating to use. We're going to go over here, create 3D object, and then we're going to create empty, because you can create empty for just anything, so we're just going to call it camera, add component, go to camera, and then that is now our main camera. So now we have that. Our problems are over. Thing is, though, our camera object, or our cube, seems like it's a little too far. So we're going to go ahead and push on that. Now our camera's right there, and our cube is closer. Might be a bit too close. That's alright. But now, we just got to reassign it as a child. So do this. And then now, whenever we move this, it moves our camera, because it's attached to the game object. So our camera is now seeing what our game object, but it doesn't, the camera is seeing what our game object is at all times, but if you move the camera by itself, it won't move the game object, because it's the child. Only the parent can move both the child and itself. So there you have it for components and parents and children. It sounds confusing, but it's really not. It's really simple. You just have to align the camera in a way that you want. So if you want it in the middle, you could just align it correctly like that. That's the closest you can get. And then you can go ahead and move your cube. Now this is amazing. This is perfect for if you're making a game where you have movement and stuff and you want your camera to follow your character around. It's perfect for that. So I highly recommend that. I use it a lot for that. So yeah, there we have it, folks. And make sure you like, subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.